Welcome to our daily Forex market analysis, and this is for trading on July the 3rd, 2020. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. As usual, we'll start off by taking a look at our calendar here. So in terms of the data that's coming out today, we did see the non-farm payroll numbers out of the US, which were better than expected. And stock market reacted to that, and we did see market go up. But going into the long weekend here for the US, market pulled back a bit. So just keep in mind, tomorrow, it's a long weekend in the US, which means liquidity in the market will be low. A lot of people are taking well, it's a holiday, so people are taking time off. So keep that in mind. Now, in terms of the data that's coming up, we have PMI numbers out of the Eurozone and no data in terms of the US. So we have pound for UK final services PMI numbers as well as the Eurozone. And in terms of our coronavirus, we are seeing an increase in the number of coronavirus cases. So Florida here, they have gone past the 10,000 mark now, and the number of virus cases across the US are increasing. And as we have seen, there have been restrictions on in terms of opening up the economy in the US right now. So the dine-in places are not opening, and there are bars and clubs that are having to stay closed, and a number of businesses are basically reconsidering their opening plans or reopening plans in light of these additional virus cases that we are seeing right now. At this point, though, market is disregarding all of that. Most of it is because the number of cases that are growing, most of the cases have been in the younger population, which means they're not as badly impacted by these by the virus as the slightly older demographics are. So this is why market has pretty much ignored all the extra cases that are spreading right now. We do need to keep an eye on things because things can change fairly quickly. So we will we'll keep an eye on that as we continue. For now, though, expect light liquidity going into the whole. So we may have a sideways day tomorrow. So just keep that in mind. So let's go on to our charts here. We'll start off with euro dollar here. Euro overall still trading in this range. It's been stuck in this range for a bit. It did extend it slightly higher, but we are still in this range. We have not seen euro get out of it yet. So today, bias is to the downside. So we see a rejection from the top of the range. Now I'm looking for price to drop back down towards 1.1180. So bearish bias here for euro. In terms of a pullback, I would look at 1.1260 level potentially for our pullback, and then looking for a drop here. So bearish bias today for euro dollar. Pound dollar here, we have a doji. We were looking for price to go up, which it did into this resistance level here. And since then, it has dropped from this resistance here. And now we have a doji. So I'm expecting price to drop from here. So bearish bias for pound as well. In terms of a pullback, I will look at potentially at 1.2500 and then a drop from there. So bias is bearish here for pound dollar as well. Aussie dollar here, this one hasn't done much. It's still trading in this range that it has established, or it has been trading in over the last 2-3 weeks here. We have a very small candle similar to what we saw yesterday. So there was a bit of a move to the upside, but not really much to speak of. It was very range bound today. So bias is neutral for this one. I'm looking for a potential retest of the high here, and then we may see a move back into the range. So neutral bias for Aussie dollar. In terms of some targets here, I'm looking at 0.6875 level, and then potentially lower into 0.6820. but looking for a range bound day here again. New Zealand dollar, actually we did see price go up into the top here to test the high of the range here. We do have a bullish candle close here, so bias is bullish to neutral. Now keep in mind we are again into some solid resistance here, so that's something to watch out for. If price is not able to break through that, we are likely to see a move back into the range for New Zealand dollar as well. So keep an eye on that, but there is bullishness in this candle, which means we could see a move higher all the way into 0.6580. So neutral to bullish bias here for New Zealand dollar. Dollar CAD here, this one is looking bearish. We see a nice pin bar here. In terms of the targets, the first target is 1.3500 and 1.3480 as the second target. And in terms of a pullback, I would look at 1.3600 as a potential pullback level, and then looking for a drop from there. So bias here is bearish for dollar CAD. Silver here. Silver is, it has dropped a little bit, but not a whole lot. So today's candle close is neutral. There is a slight bearishness in this candle, but there are pins on both sides showing that there's indecisiveness in the market right now. So bias is neutral for this. Now, if we see a break through the support, then we're likely to see a drop, but otherwise we may just see a range bound move here. So it may just be one of these. So bias for now is neutral. If I see a break through the support, then I will look for the 17.45, and otherwise I'm looking for a move back towards this 18.11 level. So neutral bias for silver here. Now gold has rejected the support here. It wasn't able to go through it. This is an important support resistance level, and we do see that price has gone up. So looking at the 1 hour here, basically the price has just been back and forth. The moves here have been very volatile moves. So in this case, what I'm looking for is if price holds below this 1780 level, then we could see a drop back again. This move up towards the top here was an inefficient move, so this one could get filled. On the flip side though, once it breaks through, we're likely to see it go back up. So right now it is looking neutral to slightly bullish. If it goes through the resistance at 1780, then we're looking for a move back up into 1788. But keep an eye on this, may become this may go sideways here as well. Oil here, oil is still stuck in the range. We did have a slight bullish move. It hasn't managed to break through this resistance though. As we see, it's still holding below that resistance level, the range that it's been trading in. So as long as it holds below this 40.65, I'm still looking for it to drop. But if it does finally break through that, then we're looking for 41.65. But until it's holding below 40.65, we are likely to see a move back down towards the bottom of the range here. So neutral bias for oil for tomorrow. Copper here, copper was into resistance here, and we see that price has failed to actually go through this strong support resistance level here. So this is where we see that price had reacted at this level previously when it was here, and now it's testing it from the opposite direction. So today's candle close is bearish. So I'm looking for price to drop further. First target would be 2.69, which is the bottom of today's candle, and then 2.66. So bearish bias for copper. Bitcoin here, Bitcoin is looking bearish. We see that price has been stuck in this little range, and it's slowly making lower highs here. And now we do have a bearish candle close, but do keep in mind it's into strong support. It hasn't been able to break the support in a number of days. So for it to continue, we do need to see a break there and then a follow through. So bias is bearish First target is 88.65 and then 87.50. S&P 500 price is right into our resistance here, into the top of the range, and this is the range it's held for a long time now, over 2 weeks. And with the New York or US being close to it, being a holiday in the US, I don't really see the market breaking through the highs here. So I am looking for a more of a move back into the range here, if anything else. So bias is neutral here to slightly bearish. We may see a retest of the high, but basically looking for a move back down here. And first target would be 3,100. And should price break through that, 30.70. So neutral to bearish bias for S&P 500. Nasdaq here, Nasdaq did go through the highs here. It's at all-time highs, which is interesting considering we are seeing an increase in the number of coronavirus cases in the US, and it really seems to be spreading, and really there's really no control over it. And market is going up, which is very interesting. A lot of this is based on the Fed spending tons of money into in the market and pretty much buying everything in sight. So all of that is keeping the market going at this point. So we do have a bullish candle close here. What I'm looking for is a retest of the support at 10,300. If it holds above, we may see another push higher. So neutral bias for tomorrow here for the market, because we may get a pullback with everybody being away. We may not see that push higher. So keep that in mind. If it holds below the support level, then we're likely to basically see it kind of go sideways here. Not looking for a huge drop. Right now, I'm looking more for a sideways move, really, than a huge drop. So neutral bias for Nasdaq. Dow Jones here, this one we are seeing price is struggling here. It's right into this resistance that we have seen price struggle with previously as well. This is where it failed to break. And again, we have a large pin there. So in this case, bias is bearish. We may see a bit of a pullback, and then I'm looking for a move back towards the bottom of the range here. It's still trading within a range, so it's rejected the high of the range. Now I'm looking for it to go towards the middle and then the bottom of the range. So first target is 25,420, and then we're looking at 25,100. So neutral to bearish bias here for Dow Jones. DAX here, DAX is right into the top of the range here. Again, this has been range bound for over 2 weeks here, and now price is right into the resistance. Now this is looking strong here. We do have a strong bullish candle close. So bias is bullish with caution though, because if it doesn't hold above 12,600, we may still see it go back into the range. So watch out for that. But if it starts to hold above 12,600, we're looking at 12,760 as the next target, and then potentially higher into 12,900. So neutral to bullish bias here. Again, with a lot of New York traders being away, I'm not looking for a huge push, but we do have PMI numbers. If the PMI numbers come in positive here for the Eurozone, we are likely to see this one go higher as a result of that. So we have to keep that in mind. So bullish to neutral here, or bullish bias for DAX here. FTSE here, FTSE still trading in a range. It's right into the resistance. My bias is neutral on this. I'm not super bullish here. I think we may see a move back into the range, and price may just stay here for a bit till next week, essentially. So neutral bias here for FTSE as long as it holds below 6260. I'm looking for a move back towards 6150 and then potentially 6100. So neutral bias here for FTSE. And then last here we have Nikkei. Nikkei has been sideways as well. As we can see, overall this has been trading in a range over the last few days here. This week, essentially, it has been going sideways. So it's stuck in this narrow range here, and it has not been able to go through it. It's failed to break the resistance level, and it has tested the same resistance for the last 3 days, and it has failed to break that resistance, which means we are likely to see a drop back down towards the support here. So 22,000 is the target here, so neutral bias for Nikkei as well. So that's it for today. If you are in the US, happy 4th of July to you. I will be back with our weekly analysis on Sunday. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you then. Bye for now.